Good Friday evening, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center breaking in for a severe thunderstorm warning in play for parts of Clay County until 5:45. Seeing a pretty strong storm in this area. Quite a bit of lightning. I know we've heard lightning around this dark area. Had lightning around this dark area over the last little bit. So just gotta remember when that thunder roars, you want to go indoors. Quite a bit of rain where I'm at, east of Stark actually. Looking at my rain gauge here, over an inch of rain now, while other areas in toward downtown Stark, much less in terms of precipitation. But the big story is this warning here off toward the east. Let's look at velocity. You can see some greens and reds here, maybe some type of downburst situation here. I know the Weather Service talking here in the chat over the last little bit that the storm was still in echo tops about 55,000 feet a few minutes ago. And we'll look at the echo tops now here. You can see similar storyline at this point toward State Highway 16, toward Weeks Road there. State Highway 21, that's in that reddish area there. But as we go back over to the normal reflectivity view of the Doppler, you see all this heavy rainfall that's occurring and then going between velocity. That's where we could have the 60-mile-an-hour wind potential, maybe in a downburst, maybe in something here just overall with the wind pattern a little bit less than that. So just gotta be kind of cognizant. We have some pretty nasty weather too approaching from the south and west toward areas around Brooker and Bradford County. And this may get a warning here pretty soon based on this velocity signature that I'm noting here. As it's got a new significant weather advisory for parts of Bradford, Alachua, Gilchrist, Columbia, Swanee, Union. Kind of giving you the idea there. Seeing quite a bit of wind down toward the south and west now, so just gotta be cognizant of that here. We're watching this within the radar pattern, but this storm here pulsing up over the last little bit. You can kind of see how we back it up. You see some boundaries evolve. We see some strengthening here, and we have this warning in play. We'll look at the upscale growth rate now. We're seeing some of that still as we get out there southwest of Penny Farms. So we'll go to the ZDR and go to street level. You can see here as we get down toward it looks like a few of these roads in here not really showing up, but trying to give you guys an idea. Luckily, this must be a pretty rural area with these roads not showing up here, but nonetheless, I'm seeing some upscale growth there as we're getting closer to Penny Farms. But this action down here looks like the next big story. Our hail potential showing pretty good on that one. Actually sound a little bit stronger now on the one here. The storminess in Alachua County. That's how things can change so quickly. I mean, within minutes, we come on for one area, now we're starting to focus more on the other area here because this looks like a warning could be required here as we look toward Brooker over the next little bit. But pretty nasty lightning come up quick though. East of Stark a little while ago toward the Stark Golf and Country Club. We had a severe thunderstorm warning for the Fruit Cove area as well. We decided not to go in for that one because it didn't look like it was so an overwhelming severe signature within the algorithm so far. This report has hailed about 3/4 of an inch, which is technically not severe criteria, but looked like there for a moment we had the potential for some severe wind to be reaching the surface here up toward areas here in Clay County. But then also we got to watch here up toward Alachua County. There's quite a bit of wind showing up, albeit a little bit more aloft here. We're further from the radar site, but seeing some wind, to be some hail mixing in there as we get down toward State Highway 235. So we've got a pretty big significant weather advisory being issued for some of this action. They're saying it's moving northwest here. I know we're going between some different modes here on the Doppler. So just checking some things here in the Weather Center. You can kind of see the movement here. Trying to give you guys the latest information on what's happening there. Brooker right on the edge of this, just some erratic movement overall because as we kind of look here, you can kind of see the development, but now it seems that that accent down there is maybe not going to be moving as close to Brooker, but then we have more accent here closer toward areas around Waldo as this accent just has that erratic movement to it. So erratic because the accent to the east here just showing a polygon that's more positioned toward the north. They're saying northwest, but we have some storms toward the western that are moving more northeasterly. This thing can change so rapidly this time of year. We haven't had to go on all that much for these pop-up storms here in this type of pattern. But in this situation, enough of a concern to have to come on here at this point. That's why we're here on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch here this evening. Again, meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center tracking some different things. Again, watching the velocity patterns. These are our wind signatures here that we're looking at within the Doppler. Seeing some pretty strong wind at County 241. Looks like wind there to about 40 miles an hour possible. Weather services could be up to 50 though. So you gotta be aware of that. I know we'll bad this up a little, but you can just see her. I mean, just a few minutes ago, you can see how our signals here within the Doppler are showing things tracking more off toward the north and east. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. We have some different patterns kind of shifting around on us here. You can see how we had more northeasterly aim with this accent, but now we've seen a turn here in the flow, and you can kind of see what we're talking about here as we're watching the situation. As we look off toward Clay County, though, things don't look quite as dangerous as they did a moment ago. That's good news, but still gotta be watching here. Things again has changed so quickly. Of course, Cloud_X on Twitter. As soon as an alert comes out there, Jacksonville, Tallahassee Weather Service area, that post there, it'll give you text there of the warning if you click on the link. So that's gonna be really helpful here because this time of year things just happen so quick within moments. I mean, the Weather Service even sometimes it's tough for them to get out ahead of things because within 5 minutes you go from no storm at all to a storm that's pretty strong in nature here. That can be dangerous. I mean, as you get the lightning to develop. I know some of the storminess earlier on in eastern Bradford County, I was keeping a close eye on here. Ended up having a situation where the lightning was actually set up on some of our systems ahead of the rainfall because the rainfall here was taking a few minutes for those radar scans to come on in. So things can be really tricky this time of year, and you got to remember when thunder roars, go indoors. That's very important. As you go ahead here and look at the Doppler radar, we're just trying to watch things here in the Weather Center, giving you the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now in play for parts of Clay County until 5:45 for another 11 minutes. Middleburg, Kingsley, as well as Camp Landon, Penny Farms, and Asbury Lake there under this warning. But again, that's not as concerning as maybe what we're looking at toward the south and west, though. Getting the latest scans in here, seeing some changes here in the overall pattern. Honestly, maybe not quite as impressive in some of this down to the south and west here as well. So that's some good news. But as we get closer toward, it looks like I-75 seeing a little bit of wind enhancement here right on the edge. Granted, we're looking a little bit higher up, so it makes it a little tougher. But let's go to the broad view real quick. I do want to see our hail tracker. This is interesting. You wouldn't necessarily expect this based on what we're seeing on our other velocity modes, but hail tracker is actually showing a hail pulsing up a little bit in Clay County, so you don't lay your guard down in this situation quite yet. You can see here on the hail tracker it's showing some of the biggest hail we've had with this as we get there, as we're looking there south and west of Penny Farms, east of Kingsley there, and lake area. So I know with that thunder around, I don't want to be out on the lake right now, and then we'll go back out to the west here. Hail tracker also showing, if you hear thunder, by the way, just east of Stark, if you're wondering what that noise was. That's that thunder, so obviously a good point not to be out on the lake there, out toward Kingsley. But this storm here now showing inside hail on the latest scan. That could cause us to get a warning just based on this signature, based on this storm growing here upward a little bit as we're looking here east of Interstate 75. So I know we're watching things very carefully. Let me go ahead. I'm going to switch a few things over. I'm going to try to pull up a traffic camera in this area here. I-75 camera somewhere around because this can be helpful in this type of situation. So I'm just trying to give you the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family here on this Friday evening. That evening commute may be being disrupted here. I'm just watching things very carefully, looking at the situation. Let me go ahead and see what's going on here. Some of these cameras might give us a view of the storminess here. I'm just checking behind the scenes at the present time. Bear with me. Looking at some of the different shots we have. Just kind of show some different perspectives here at points. I know one shot here kind of giving you an idea of what's going on. Let me go ahead and pop it up. This is here at US 441. On I-75. So let me go ahead and say what we're talking about here. We'll take you over to the traffic source right now in the computer, and you'll get an idea of how the scenario is going. So That's kind of what we're looking at this point. So I know you can see some of the darker skies there on the top right side of the screen. So just gotta kind of keep our eyes on the situation here. We'll continue to monitor this. Now let me go ahead and go back on over toward traffic. I'm just trying to see what else we're looking at here within the system. I know at times when we're in severe weather coverage, we kind of repeat ourselves here. Let me pull this one up. We'll kind of see what's happening over here. Let me go ahead, as you still see the hail signature there. I get a warning at any point. We don't have a warning on this actually out toward Alachua County yet, but we're going to go ahead and pop up another shot here of the situation, kind of giving you a view here of what's going on. Looking out there toward the area, you can kind of see the sky a little bit. As you kind of look down, you see some interesting features there. So it's kind of intriguing to keep our eyes on here. I know sometimes they're trying to just give you the latest views, so it's just so in pretty nasty conditions, seeing some of that wind blow around there. This is I-75 at County Road. It looks like 235A, so just got to be kind of careful here with the overall situation that we're dealing with. Just watching some different features within the clouds. You can kind of maybe see the rain shaft a little bit there, so always kind of intriguing to see here on this Friday. Just going between some different views behind the scenes still. I'll keep doing that. But right now, let's get back over to Hail Tracker. This is showing 1.5 size hail now, but officially there's no warning. It just kind of depends on what the meteorologist in charge is kind of thinking here. That's a pretty strong wind signature there from Moody as well. So I kind of have a tendency to believe this probably needs a warning here as we're getting toward northwestern Alachua County. So let me go ahead and go back on over. This is actually even showing maybe a little bit of rotation here as we're looking at this. I mean, the clouds are showing some interesting features as well. So this kind of intriguing to see here as we're watching here out toward, looks like areas there between Worthington Springs and High Springs right now. Some pretty strong winds. These are winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour, and the velocities, though, I mean, you couldn't ride a 60-mile-an-hour gust here either, I don't believe. So we just got to continue to monitor the situation. We'll keep our eyes on this. No official warning. Let's go back to the area where there is an official warning. Looking off a different radar site for this. It's going to be a little further away, but as we get here towards State Road 16, towards State Road 21 here, you can see maybe some hail falling in this area in Clay County right now toward the east to start the current movement here with the warning northwest at 10, our latest signature, actually still more of an easterly movement again. Things just change rapidly here in this environment, so it's hard to just want to kind of give you one track here and stick with it. So they have now just told us here in the chat that they're expiring a warning for Clay, so that's some good news. The velocity signature not as impressive as what we're seeing there, or the updraft, the hail signature like what we're seeing in northwestern Alachua. It's pretty unusual, by the way, to get this kind of a hail signature here within this source, because and not have a warning is where I'm going with this, because generally when you have 1.46 inch hail showing up here, this generally is a pretty good job. So I mean, maybe the atmosphere really isn't as conducive for hail. And I know they're asking in the chat now, meteorologists in Gainesville asking, is there any chance for a warning for the storm in northern Alachua? I mean, it's kind of a storm that's catching some people's eyes here. So gotta be mindful of it here as we're looking west of Brooker. Again, you generally don't get this type of signature here and have a scenario where there's not actually an official warning in place. So we're going to stick with it here, because this is pretty impressive, maybe more impressive than we've seen on any storm all day here, including the other two that we had warned. So we're looking right near Interstate 75, so I'll go ahead and keep our eyes on the traffic cameras in this area. I know we're looking here toward High Springs, toward Worthington Springs. That's a pretty impressive storm there, giving you the heads up here from the Weather Center that this is a pretty nasty storm in this area. I'm pretty surprised we don't have a warning on it, because I mean it's kind of, I mean, I know this time of year things can be kind of transient in nature, so it's hard to want to just warn everything here. And I agree. And okay, they're now telling other meteorologists, I was asking their meteorologists in Gainesville, longtime meteorologist there, that they're preparing a warning for the storm momentarily as the reflectivity core continues to grow and deepen. So, yeah, they're going to go ahead and issue a warning on this here in just a second as we get there toward Alachua County. Just trying to continue to watch some of the different features here with the cloud cover, with the overall scenario here. And we'll go ahead and pull back up the traffic system again now. Let's go ahead and switch back on over there. You'll be able to kind of see that cloud cover. Pretty impressive there. You can see the contrast in the views. So this is the Florida 501 camera there. This is looking off toward the north and west. But so just kind of give you an idea here. Interesting situation overall. As we're kind of watching things, that would actually be about the right spot here for some of the worst of this, it looks like. So let me go ahead and, yeah, it's a little displaced, but these numbers here, these velocity numbers, these wind signatures that are popping up here, and just the overall deepening of the reflectivity is concerning enough. And now we've got a new warning in play. It's now until 6:15 for parts of Alachua and Bradford. A little bit of Bradford clipped by this, so maybe a little bit of a change here in the overall movement, maybe, because that's kind of confine it down some. I'm curious to see what this polygon gives us here. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Let's go ahead and pull up the vaccine issued a warning on a different storm toward the east of this one. Another one in northern Alachua County. Let me see what they're looking at here. I'm surprised. So let's go ahead and go back on over toward the Doppler radar. So again, this is a warning now for parts of Alachua and Bradford. At 5:43, a severe thunderstorm, according to the Weather Service, is located near Sampson, or 11 miles west of Keystone Heights, moving northwest at 10 miles an hour. So we're talking about Sampson, Waldo, and Brooker here under this warning. But let's go back to velocity. Let me go ahead and go back on over here. Again, we're watching things carefully. Things can change here. This time of year, they have that transient nature to them. But I'm really surprised they issued a warning on this area. We're not seeing the winds here. That strong. 7 miles an hour there on our one radar, but the other storm here showing winds 47. So let me just go ahead and see. I'm going to see if we can switch radars again here. We have an aerial flood warning now for Clay County until 7:15. Now we are starting to see some upscale growth in our other source. That is a little bit helpful here. We are starting to see a little bit of upscale growth here with this storm headed into Bradford, but so that is a sign of some strengthening now. But nonetheless, just interesting because you can see how high the hail peaked out in this storm here in Alachua, about 1.5 inches. Well, this storm here, according to our source, hadn't peaked quite to 1 inch yet. It's the one that ends up getting the warning here. But again, continuing to watch things carefully. We're checking between different radar sources under the height here, an issue at times. But even the Jacksonville radar is showing the storm is off toward the west, maybe a little more energetic here in nature. But it is starting to become a little closer now. The debate here between the two different areas. We're going to go ahead and continue to watch here. This is where we have the warning right near, it looks like Tree Farm Road, County Road 1475. We're going to go ahead and look out to the west there too, because that's where we have some purple showing up within the Doppler radar. Again, we're going to continue to watch things, and sometimes the meteorology kind of dictates where the winds would be a little more favorable to reach the surface. Based on the radar echoes. So it's kind of interesting to see here. We'll continue to watch the situation. I know we had a gust there a little while ago. Gainesville Airport in the 30s. Keystone Airport in the 30s as well. So again, just got to continue to watch what's going on. I know we have an aerial flood warning for Clay County now. Rainfall over the last hour or so. Some areas picking up close to 3 inches. So that's quite a bit of rain there as we're looking toward County Road 215 there. Definitely can cause some ponding of water on the roadways. So we're just going to continue to watch the situation very carefully. Again, the warning ends up being a little bit further to the east than we were anticipating. But this warning's for parts of Bradford County here, Brooker, Sampson. We're watching things until 6:15 in this area. Again, just seeing if we get some wind or some hail down toward the surface here in that vicinity. So continuing to watch. I know we have some thunder maybe you're hearing in the background here. That definitely kind of makes you a little bit concerned maybe, especially if you're hearing it on your own. You see these temperature trends, 90 degrees toward Lake City, 91 toward Perry, 95 at Asta, 96 there in Homerville. So kind of giving you guys an idea of what's going on here. You can kind of see some areas that have a little more untapped potential maybe for some of these storms to be a little bit stronger. So let me go ahead and see the surface-based CAPE. You see it says a little differently than the temperature trends, but the temperature trends here are the latest information. So I know we're getting an update here in the chat now that rainfall rates in excess of 3 inches per hour continue to fall over central and western Clay County, where Doppler radar estimates show that 2 to 2.5 inches have fallen during the past hour, and flooding will be possible along County Road 215 and State Roads 21 and 16 near and southwest of Middleburg through around 7:15. So again, gonna continue to watch. I know we're trying to give you that honest assessment here, that Doppler radar picture, trying to give you the very latest information here. See what the velocity trends have for us, and just kind of show exactly what's going on. I know latest scans here coming in show some wind enhancement, at least as we get toward County Road 18. This is not that impressive, though. In my opinion, at least, not quite as impressive as what we were seeing there a few moments ago out toward northwestern Alachua County. This is more northern Alachua, and they're calling it northeast, but in toward central Bradford. So again, gonna continue to watch things here. This warning, guys, 6:15. If you weren't already on, I mean, this is not that impressive again overall, but you just gotta be careful. Sometimes the radar can be deceiving in this area. I know we've had, I'm not saying this is a tornadic situation by any means, I don't think it is here, not with the eastern area with the warning in play right now, but and we've had tornadoes go unwarned here toward Bradford County over the years. So sometimes just it's hard to see them on the radar, to be quite honest. For whatever reason, the signatures generally are not all that clear, and that sometimes can happen with severe storms. Maybe some of this wind potential is reaching down to the surface despite what the radar is telling us here in the weather center. So again, I just got to be kind of mindful here. You could have a tree fall even without 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts down toward the surface, so you got to keep that in mind here as well. Again, checking here with the chat, northeastern Bradford and western Clay, northwestern Clay now under a significant weather advisory until 6:15. So I know we are seeing some more upscale growth here, and that is pretty rapid upscale growth actually here in the toward parts of Alachua County. So that's a little more cause for concern, but we're seeing that closer there toward Waldo Road, northern Alachua County right now. So that's a little more concerning. Just interesting to see how the trends go sometimes here, though, within the Doppler picture. So it's becoming a little more serious now. The significant weather potential, the severe thunderstorm warning here toward parts of Alachua and Bradford counties until 6:15 or so. So gonna continue to watch here. I'm gonna zoom out. I know we don't have any formal risk. I know this time of year it's really hard to put a formal risk out or not. It's kind of a hit or miss situation because the patterns are so hard to discern here overall with the sea breezes and whatnot. But you see the temperature dock toward the Lone Star State here. Look at these incredible numbers. Not as crazy as they were though earlier on in the week. So that's some good news at least. I mean, you do have stretches sometimes where you have 100-degree days this time of year, but still can be dangerous. And you can see here Missouri up into Kansas. We're just going to continue to watch that heat, but toward our area, some areas getting in towards some rain-cooled air. So that's some good news here overall. We're just going to continue to watch the picture here, continue to track things very carefully. We're just trying to see what's going on here overall. I know some nasty weather west of Waldo right now. Pretty apparent with the ZR signature. That's the most impressive thing right now, honestly, between just all our different modes of Doppler. As I continue to gather the latest information here, looking over all of our different sources. We'll go ahead and go back on over here. You can see toward some of these different areas around Waldo Road. It's purple. I mean, just some rapid upscale growth according to our Doppler signatures. That's concerning here at times. I mean, our velocity not showing as much. I mean, honestly, not showing a whole bunch, but maybe it's just not getting a good read on what's going on down here. We're just continuing to watch those things. Can be hazardous. Looking at this, all sorts of different products here. I'm gonna even check correlation coefficient. Maybe some small hail mixing in there. You just never know. But I'm just continuing to check everything here for you. Again, that purple means we're seeing the storm go upward quickly, and that may be what prompted a warning here, despite some of our other values not really showing as significant of a situation. Our echo tops here, let's go to that. Our echo tops still show a little bit higher off toward I-75 with the area we were watching toward the cameras there a little while ago. But we're just going to continue to watch the situation here over the next little bit. We're getting close to the 6 o'clock hour. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center, 5:53 to be exact. But just trying to give you an update here. Maybe you have those evening plans. I know some of that's being disrupted here earlier on the east side of Stark out there. You can kind of see our rainfall estimates. Some areas here east of Stark in that green, about an inch of rain or so, but in Stark really not much falling. You see areas though in toward central Clay County, I guess you could call it there, getting 3 inches of rain there. It looks like, say, Highway 21. So hit or miss, but we've seen pretty good coverage overall of the storminess and getting the heating. I mean, we got all but a 97 here east to start today. I mean, that's really impressive. A lot of areas didn't get that warm. We ended up getting the eruption of accidents so quick here. Just kind of that fuel for the storms to get going was in play. So, again, we're going to keep watching this here toward a lot toward Bradford, Brooker, Sampson, Waldo under this warning here. Looking at some of our different products. I know we can get technical here at times in the coverage, so I just kind of apologize if it gets a little bit hard to understand, but we try to dive in a little bit deeper here in the meteorology of it when we're on for a while. So just checking some of my sources here real quick, see if we have any questions. I'm gonna see if anybody's asking me anything here real quick. Hate to be on and then maybe somebody has a question or something. So just checking here. I'm gonna check YouTube real quick to see. So if it's cutting out a little bit, I apologize. Just need to check some of these sources here to make sure, since we've been on for a pretty good bit here, make sure nobody's asking anything. So I know somebody is saying that they went to get a pizza. They just want me to make it stop, but unfortunately can't do that here. Just kind of have to be the bearer of what's happening within the Doppler radar picture here at this point. So again, that's the comment there on YouTube. But again, just trying to give you guys the latest information here. I'm gonna check Twitter as well. We're gonna go ahead and check over there, make sure we don't have any questions on that site. Just kind of get an idea of what's happening here. That doesn't look like anything over there at this point. But again, we're trying to stick with you to give you the latest information. Getting quite a few new significant weather advisories to come out here from the Weather Service. So again, I was trying to give you guys the latest. You can see in the lower parts of Clay County right now, we're seeing some areas there of some pretty heavy rainfall. Seeing some more development moving toward us here. In toward Stark, it looks like. East side of town even going to get some more rain. So that's coming on in now. Looks like over the next few minutes you might want to hear it in the background, depending on how long we stay on the air with you here based on some of these different signatures. You might hear some thunder. You might hear some of that rain coming on down even in the microphone. So just kind of stick with me here in the coverage as we continue to watch the situation. Again, just got to be mindful of what's happening. I know we repeat ourselves from time to time when we're in this severe weather type coverage, but it's just because people are coming in to the feed, going away from the feed. We're just trying to be with you to give you the very latest information. So again, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch here. You can get all those links there at cloudweather.com. So just trying to give you guys the latest updates, trying to see exactly what's happening here with the Doppler radar picture. You can see Southeast Georgia staying pretty quiet right now, and some of those temperatures those trends where I'm trying to go with that, we'll kind of see those because you want to see some areas here staying pretty warm still. I mean, 96 there, Homerville. So we could end up seeing some more action here if These storms, if we have some triggers in these areas, things could get going still. So I got to keep that in mind. As we look here at the Doppler picture, you see cool air toward Keystone. We're still seeing some of this action still be presented on the Doppler. So we're just kind of giving you guys the latest information here. We've been talking a while. We may take a break here in a few minutes to gather more information. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that real quick. We'll take about a 2.5-minute break. We'll be back here soon as we continue to track this severe thunderstorm warning report to Bradford County until about 6:15. Also, reports of Alachua County included as well. Stay tuned, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud back here on the air at the top of the hour to give you the latest information on a severe thunderstorm warning in play for parts of Bradford and Alachua counties until 6:15. I know we initially came on for a warning in Clay County, so that storm there dumped quite a bit of rain, but the severe potential in terms of the wind started to decline in that. But right now, watching the axis off toward the south and west here. Looking at the wind signature right now, not all that impressive, but I think the reason the warning was issued, that upscale growth signature, you kind of saw it there and then it went away. I'll back it up. You can see that was really impressive development there. At this point, though, we're not really seeing as much increase in strength, but there's still some of that showing up with some of those reds there on the board. So still got to be mindful. We're going to be getting some rain up towards Stark again here over the next little bit. When I say again, I mean for parts of town it's again, or just outside of town where I'm at, we picked up over an inch here. But in toward town itself, they haven't picked up near much rain. So you could just say some heavier rain for the first time today as we're looking toward downtown over the next few moments. Pretty clear that that's going to happen. So again, just going to go ahead and continue to watch things here over the next little bit. The warning still officially goes for another 13 minutes. We're seeing a little bit of strengthening here south of Hampton right now, so we'll continue to watch that. You can see one signature popping up. The hail maybe not quite to that level there, but still kind of an indication, as the Weather Service now saying, thunderstorms continue to strengthen to the north of Interstate 10 along the Swanee River in far northern Swanee and southern Hamilton counties, and downburst winds in excess there about maybe 40 or at least around 40 frequent lightning strikes and torrential downpours will overspread the I-75 corridor. As I go ahead and flip the view now, that's still about 6:30 or so. I'm talking about from Jasper northwestward to the Florida-Georgia border. So heads up there, storm strengthening into the north of I-10. We'll continue to watch all that, but definitely watching that one yellow box on the screen right now until 6:15 for parts of Bradford and parts of Alachua, the accent towards 75. That's kind of decreased in intensity here at this point. So that's some good news. Never basically got a warning here for that area, but we were watching it here in the weather center and seeing some pretty impressive hail signatures for a few scans there on our Doppler that generally kind of analyzes things and does a good job in these type of scenarios. So just got to be kind of careful here. Again, looking toward Interstate 75 right now, you see quite a bit of lightning around. Again, toward the east, a little more recent lightning here, and this is a severe storm officially in play with the warning for parts of Bradford and parts of Alachua until 6:15. We're talking about Sampson, Waldo, and Brooker. So again, just trying to give you guys the latest scan updates here. Doppler radar trying to see exactly what's happening. See a new significant weather advisory now. I see it downstream as we're watching some action even around Lake Butler here. Starting to kind of try to make its way on into this area as moves north at 40 according to the Weather Service. Lake Butler, Rayford, Taylor, McClinney, Glen St. Mary, Lusty there, you kind of get the idea. Lulu in there as well. So gonna continue to watch here with the signatures. Probably end up wrapping things up soon if we don't get any new information from the Weather Service, because again, I'm not seeing a whole bunch here at this point. The upscale growth, though, was impressive. That storm development, when I say that, that's what I mean. But we're looking down toward Hampton. We are seeing a little bit of that here. So might get some more lightning strikes over the next little bit. We'll watch to see if we have some cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. That obviously can be dangerous. You don't have to have a warning or an advisory even in play for cloud-to-ground lightning strikes to occur. So got to be really careful, got to be really mindful in these type of situations. Because whenever that thunder roars, you want to go indoors here. Sometimes you might get caught off guard. Take you a few minutes to get in, but try to get in as soon as possible, because that lightning unfortunately can hit, and it can be very dangerous. So again, watching here, I know we have that heat index danger as well, continuing on into the weekend and the next week here at points. Just got to be really careful. Drink plenty of water. That's when you have the heat there in place, especially before the storms come. Storms can really help cool you down in terms of the temperature after the fact, but obviously don't want to be out in them as we continue to watch here the view, this grand scheme of things here. Severe weather potential into the evening hours. You see some heavier rain developing there between about Hampton and Theresa right now. There in Bradford County. We're watching now. We're looking at the velocity signatures, but let's get down to street level mapping right now. We're talking about Cannon Road 325, 51st Avenue there, Southeast 23rd Terrace, Southeast 93rd Street, Southeast 33rd Avenue. You kind of get the idea. Southeast 82nd Way. Some heavier downpours in this area. Not officially under the warning there, but around Sampson, you are under this warning officially. Getting maybe a little bit of hail to mix in there. Southwest County Road 225 over toward areas there as we get further up toward the north. Some of these different roads that pop up here in our system, they would include, it looks like, I mean, honestly, we're having trouble getting any to pop up. It happens from time to time. A lot of these roads here don't actually have anything that says up in my system. We do have one here, though, Southwest 163rd Street. Sometimes they're just too small for the system to pick up on. But getting some of that heavier rain in that area. I have a little bit of wind enhancement right there around Sid Martin Highway, it looks like there on the south side of this. That's kind of interesting to see there. Let's see if there's any upscale growth in that area. Yeah, not really seeing that co-located, but let's check the times here. That's 6:05. That's 6:05. So kind of on the tail end there, but sometimes just get odd signatures. But at this point, I would think they wouldn't extend a warning, but may get some type of significant weather advisory here in play further down to the south. And actually, they have just expired a warning. They're telling us now here in the chat they're expiring the warning But I feel like I might get some type of significant weather advisory here in the ward, even maybe areas further over in Bradford County, because it's kind of a murky picture at points here. Trying to look at some of this. That's something you have to kind of bear in mind here on this Friday evening. Again, we'll be trying to run some errands. Unfortunately, this rain definitely an issue, and this rain still looks to be headed up. As you see the development here, still looks like it's headed up 301 into towards dark property, heavier downpours. Already getting that rumble of thunder around, those rumbles of thunder around, and that means you want to go ahead and just go inside, really. But no official warning in play at this point, so that's good news. Granted, when they expire these, they kind of still stay into effect here until the time of 6:15, but they go off our screen because really the threat here has been lower, no longer posing an immediate threat to life or property. So that's the good news. The threat dwindles on down. When I say life or property, that's because of the wind potential. Now the lightning potential, you can still have, unfortunately, some dangerous conditions evolve out of that don't necessarily require a warning to be in place. So gotta be mindful there for sure as we watch some of this rain move up toward the north here. I'll loop this around. We have a pretty long loop on this over the last few hours. You can see how things earlier popping up, seeing some different boxes pop on the screen. I'll even zoom out some. Now I'm going to take off the significant weather advisories because they don't loop with us. Those are just the current ones. You see all the different boundaries in play here. That causes things to erupt. And then this is about 6 o'clock there at the end, but 4 o'clock earlier when this loop starts, and you can kind of see here some of this accent as it kind of comes in the picture. One thing that kind of catches my eye right now actually is up toward parts of Baker County. The latest scan or two showing maybe some stronger weather up there west of Taylor. So kind of giving you guys heads up there. Probably not enough there. If we get a warning, thunderstorm warning, we wouldn't go on for that area. But still, gotta watch it. We'll make sure we post the information. If there's any tornado warning, random warning like that, not expected, but we always go on for any type of tornado warning here in our area, any of our 62 counties. But not expecting that here. But you just never know. It's really rare to see that happen this time of year, but it has happened here before. I mean, maybe once or twice a summer you'll get those. Really haven't seen too much really active weather here overall, it seems, this summer compared to some other summers, but you don't want to talk too soon because there's still some time left for that here in that summer time period, because we can still get these storms into August for sure, and then even into September here as well at points. So got to keep that in mind. We definitely can get some pretty nasty weather in August here with these pop-up storms. So got to be aware of the torrential downpours, the lightning potential, and even some of that wind potential, hail potential as that mixes on in. I know as we watch dark here, it's still taking its time. The heavier rain, the inward, most of start, but southern areas here are starting to get into that, as you can see. As we had the bypass point there, as we look down toward Walmart, for instance. I know they're starting to get into the heavier rain down there, but as we get further up toward the high school, for instance, we're not seeing that rain here in the picture at this point as heavy, but still want to go ahead and just be inside with that lightning potential around. Things can pop up here pretty rapidly. So that's going to do it for now here with the coverage. Seeing some more development here east of Lake City. Not seeing a lot in velocity, but we are seeing some upscale growth there between Lake City and Lusty right now. So that's something to watch. Let's put the advisories back on the screen real quick. We're just going to keep watching because we could definitely get some more warnings here. Not saying we will. Sometimes we'll just have this pattern kind of quiet on down on us. But I see a new significant weather advisory just issued now. That does include parts of Bradford County, including Stark. So they're now saying winds in excess of 40 and P-side hail. Kind of close to Keystone, but moving north at 10 miles an hour. So if this were to hold together in the Stark, that could produce quite a bit more rain here. Quite a bit more rainfall. For areas here east of Stark. Now, city hadn't got that much rain. As you look at storm total, you're wondering maybe for Stark around the courthouse. I mean, really haven't got that much rain, but east of Stark toward the Golf and Country Club area, an inch of rain is falling, and we could get more rain here coming in from the south over the next little bit if it holds together. Granted, things can pulse back down pretty quickly this time of year, so you just never know. We'll be here watching, but again, new significant weather advisory just coming out for parts of Bradford County, as well as Clay and Alachua at 6:45. 40-mile-an-hour winds possible. P-side hail moving north at 10 miles an hour, so pretty slow mover. So could end up getting some type of aerial flood warning in play even here. If this were to maintain those higher reflectivity values as the axis kind of moves across Bradford County here. So we'll keep you informed. If we need to come back on, we will. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Have a great night. We'll be here watching things for you here in the Weather Center, though.